I think to understand how I'm coping now, I probably have to take you back to how we started and how things went for us. Noah and I started dating, I guess, when he was out of a broken relationship and I was out of a broken relationship. Marrying him was the best decision I've ever made. I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, a lot of wrong ones, a lot of very stupid decisions, but I'm glad that this one wasn't. This was the best, and this was the most correct one I've ever made in my life. For me, I don't know where to begin and I don't know where to end when I start talking about him, because he is the best thing that's ever happened to me so far. I'm not saying that our relationship was the perfect one. It's not a fairy tale story. We've been through so many difficulties during our married life, but I feel that through all those challenges, it gotten me to cope with not having him here for, it's been 5 years, 4 months, 3 days, and a few hours since he's been gone. Noah got sick in 2008, starting of the year. He has headaches, migraines. At that time, I didn't know that he had that since he was a young boy. So those headaches came constantly that year. It was like 1 week in the hospital, then 1 week back home, 1 week back at the hospital. All that time, during those 6 months, there was never a time he said to me that he was tired, that he wanted to give up. No one knew it was time for him to go. He called me because I was on the floor, and he called me. I held his hand and he said not to let go, not to let his hand go. And then he said to me, he thanked me for looking after him and for giving him life and believing in him and everything else. And then he said, finally he said to me, he was tired. He said, "Oh, Wow." I said, what does that mean? He said, he's just tired. And then me thinking he's tired, he wants to go to sleep. But then he said to me again, I'm tired of hurting. And I said, I know, but you're strong. In the morning you will go home. I never let his hand go. I knew he was slipping away. And then the fit started kicking in. But his grip on my hand was so strong. It gave me hope that he will fight to come back. So I would whisper in his ear and tell him that I love him very much. And he keeps squeezing my hand, so I knew that he could still hear me. But the doctors were busy all over and all over. Then finally I said to him that I don't know if I was supposed to say it. Maybe even now, if I didn't say it, maybe he'll still come back. I said to him, it's up to him. If he wants to go, I'll accept whatever. I said to him, Avian, I'll be here still. And I told him one more time, I lost that baby 2 weeks after Noah left. And people always come up to me and say, if only you guys had a child. How do you respond to that? Losing Noah was one of the hardest thing I ever faced. And losing him also made me understand what the temple is all about. Because when you're born in a church, you go on a mission, you take all those things for granted. when a lot of people ask me why aren't you in a relationship, I said, why aren't you moving on? But they don't understand that I am moving on. Well, I think everyone has a different version of moving on, right? For me, moving on is living one a day at a time and trying to cope with waking up in the morning and being stressed and coming home, no one to share how you really feel and all the pressure that you're feeling. I live day at a time, and I try and keep going. What I say to myself, okay, if I wake up, I know the sun's up, but when the sun sets, I know I'm closer to normal. When I wake up again, the sun's up. When it sets again, it's a day closer to normal. Do I say that I'm happy that it happened? No. Yeah, I wanted to grow old with him, you know. I wanted our hair to grow gray together. I wanted to see him wrinkled. I wanted him to see me wrinkled and all those things. I use my memories of him to give me the strength to go on every day. And no matter what I go through and all the, like, really feeling hurt, losing him hurts more. For me, moving on is living one day at a time. That's my moving on. Moving on doesn't mean I have to go and get married, and just being with him in our own little hut, in our own ghetto home. But it's a simple life and I love it.